once known as Robbie Anderson, then
and Chosen Anderson to replace Jalen Waddle this game. But
does he like the character Chosen from Cobra Kai? Because I like that character too.
But the fact like how she was going crazy and cheering, it shows that
with Donna Kelsey.
With Donna Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey's mom.
So it shows there's more than something like that, rather than just her sitting there and just cheering like a normal person. Yeah. She was going nuts.
This is legit. Well done, Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well done.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're closer and closer to 200. So let's try to get it done soon as we can, basically.
We have less than a week, and I don't think we made any ground. So
we made zero ground.
Just help us reach 200 as soon as possible, I guess, at this point. But, you know, if you guys could get us like, what, 25 to 27 subs.
27, yeah.
In less than a week. Let's see if you guys could do it. But, no, as always, make sure you guys follow our socials: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts for YouTube Shorts. I think, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I think I mentioned all those. And as always, audio platforms, if you guys prefer to listen to it, Apple, Spotify, whatever you guys listen to, make sure you guys download the podcast, review it, rate it 5 stars if you especially enjoy it. And we appreciate that as well. We want to have more countries involved outside of the US and Belgium. Brussels,
Canada, and USA,
Yeah. So, before we continue, we have a very special podcast that should be dropping out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
With a very special guest to talk some soccer. So that will be soccer fans, football fans, wherever you guys are around the world. A lot of footy talk tomorrow, especially Canada soccer related, but we do get into European. If you want to see who it's a him. That's the only hint you'll get.
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or prediction is. Tune in down below, and we'll probably have a debate about that for sure. In the comments, and
there'll definitely be the backlash.
So make sure you guys tune into that. We're just telling you guys this right now, and as always, let's just get right into it without a further ado.
NFL.
It's always NFL.
NFL.
Before we go into Sunday, let's just get into Thursday Night Football. Literally a 2-minute review.
Good job, Niners.
You did the job. You destroyed an injured Andrew Thomas and Saquon
Barkley less
team, but you handled business. You didn't do what a certain team did today, and so that's it. That's our recap. San Francisco's still the best team, probably our power ranking number 1. Although this team on the come up, now we're gonna get into Sunday Night Football, might have a chance at number 1 this week from us. Tune in every Tuesday and Wednesday where we drop our power rankings for the week. Or after that certain week, the Miami Dolphins. 70 points.
70 points.
I don't know if they should be number 1 or not. You guys will tune in.
I think they should, bro. I'll be honest with you.
Well, they'll tune in to find out.
But who knows? We'll see what happens. And there's no knock on the Niners, right? Yeah. But like 70 points against a decent Broncos defense. And I think they had a chance to break it at the end, but Mike McDaniel elected to kneel it out instead of
Mike McDaniel, the same Broncos ball boy growing up, put on 70 on his team.
But 70 on his team. But I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, they have been just coming out flying without Jalen Waddle too this game as well.
That's the shocking part to me.
But Tyreek Hill did his thing at the beginning. Freaking already got like 150 yards at a touchdown.
Hey, listen, Dolphins, you guys don't need Jonathan Taylor, so leave him alone now.
Yeah, you got Devin A-Chain and then Raheem Mostert rushing for
you don't need him anymore. All right?
Rushing for multiple TDs each. Tua with another solid 300-yard, 3 TD, I think, performance. And then Tyreek Hill is still Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Mike White, shout out. You came into the game. You're 2 for 2 with 67 yards and a touchdown. So 2 of his passes, one of them was a touchdown.
67 yards.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I was not shocked. I was shocked because I'm not shocked they won, but I'm shocked by the 70. It felt like I was watching college basketball or something.
Yeah, that's what the score was.
Or I was watching college football, right? 70 points in a NFL game was like the 3rd team ever to get 70, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part to me. I don't care how good your team is. We've seen Mahomes with Tyreek Hill before he came here. We've seen him with that team. The max they got was like 50, which was, I think, the Rams. That shootout of the Rams. And
70
and Chiefs
70's tough.
Yeah.
Right. And
60's tough, 50's tough, 40's
50's tough. They're all tough. And dominating fashion. I was gonna say, what the hell's wrong with the Broncos?
I genuinely thought they were better than this. Way better than this. Like, yeah, did I hype up Sean Payton? Probably yes. Is Sean Payton probably like, why am I not on Fox right now? He probably is.
He's probably regretting his decision. But before we get fully into the Broncos, just gonna say this about Miami, right? Like when healthy, they are this super team. They are capable of doing this, week in and week out. And they showed it last year because they had an incredible record with Tua. And when Tua was injured, with the playoff game as well, it wasn't great. But no, this Miami team, when healthy, is gonna be scary.
They're kind of healthy, except this game when they weren't.
By that, I mean Tua needs to be healthy.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. I mean, Russell Wilson, I don't know how much of his 306 yards were like Miami's like, yeah, whatever, do whatever you want. Because he didn't come out of the game, which is kind of surprising to me in general. Like, I'm not saying because he had 23 for 38, 1 TD, 1 interception. Obviously not the type of quarterback you once were. But still, based on the numbers, again, we tried to watch as much as we can. You would think that they would pull him out, and B, this could be a closer game. But clearly it wasn't. Cortland Sutton, 91 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 81 yards, 8 receptions, 5 receptions, right?
They got 20 points.
But at the same time, the shocking thing is that defense.
I
understand they lost pieces, but they still have capable defenders. Patrick Surtain's a top 5, top 3, wherever you want to put him as a top.
He's a top cornerback in the league.
We literally saw what Christian Gonzalez did.
Against
Tyreek Hill. So you would thought maybe it would have been better. Tyreek Hill ended up finishing off with 9 receptions, 157 yards, only 1 touchdown. Robbie Chosen, a name that we haven't said, has come back.
Once known as Robbie Anderson, then
Chosen Anderson, to replace Jalen Waddle this game.
Does he like the character Chosen from Cobra Kai? Because I like that character too.
Maybe,
right? That's the only Chosen I know.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a different reason for that name. We don't know. You guys could do your own research for that. We don't really care.
And call yourself whoever you want to call yourself, right?
Yeah, but Broncos
country.
The only way you could go is up now, right?
Broncos country. Let's cry. Genuinely, like 70 points in an NFL game is just pathetic. And I mean,
allowing 70
points, and like, what do you blame, right? Do you blame coaching? Do you blame defense? Do you blame the offense for not, producing enough?
Now, the good news for them is they got the Bears next, and they're a whole different story, which we'll get into.
They're both 0-3, yeah.
So, I don't know. Questions are gonna arise. Is it Sean Payton? Is it Russell Wilson? Who's gotta go? Will one of them leave? Is
it GM is their roster not good enough? Right? Like, they're in a serious situation where they are gonna be in trouble for the next few years if it stays like this.
All right, let's move on before we go to the next game, because on Thursday's pod we always do upset. Who was your
our disappointing team,
or surprising team, or best team, right?
Yeah.
Well, very obviously is these two. I don't care what anybody says. It's the obvious answer. But a team that's contender for disappointment is the Dallas Cowboys. And before we get into the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunate injury, Trayvon Diggs. Big piece on the defense. Trayvon Diggs, torn ACL at practice, I believe.
At practice.
And out for the year now. And it sucks because clearly he was one of the reasons why that defense was going crazy, opposite of Stephon Gilmore, so less pressure on him as well. And for everybody that knows, they shut out the Giants 40-0, and then they destroyed the New York Jets, right?
And then by only allowing 10 points.
Exactly. So,
but to a Joshua Dobbs team, I don't think you need Trayvon Diggs to allow 28 points and lose the game.
Yeah, so obviously Trayvon Diggs, get well soon. Bart Scott, screw you. But people that were like toying with the injury, listen, is he a big loss? For sure. But is he a big loss for this game, like you said?
No, not for this game.
Who's their number one? Hollywood Brown? Stephon Diggs probably took care of that.
Gilmore.
It should have been at least. Gilmore. And because of the brother. Stephon Gilmore probably should have taken care of that, right? And at the end of the day, you still have your pass rush. I don't know. Because when I looked at the numbers, minus that horrible pick Dak threw at the end of triple coverage when they still had a chance to come back in the game. Because obviously we were filming that
Our guest pod,
our
yeah.
guest pod that's coming out tomorrow. So we didn't, we were like, oh, these 3 games, like the Chiefs game, we expected what was gonna happen. We thought this was gonna be that game, and then the Seattle game, yeah, that would have been the competitive one, which it
But
kind of
Seattle
was.
was still fairly, in control.
But we didn't expect this, right? So now I went back just to see a little bit of it, and I don't know if it was just the defense decided to take a night off and they just like a trap game. One thing's for sure, Arizona is not tanking in a way.
They are feisty, right? It was a tough game against the Washington Commanders, tough game against the Giants, and you end up beating Dallas.
Yeah, so sticking with Dallas for a second, I just feel like even the one touchdown pass Dobbs threw, Micah Parsons and 2 others were chasing him down, and he threw it to, I think, Hollywood Brown. But yeah, there's no excuse, right? At the end of the day, like your offense, like
The Giants beat them. The Commanders still beat them.
Yeah.
Right? As much as it was a close game, they still beat them. You guys didn't.
Now, is this a blip? I believe it is.
Oh, it's 100% a blip.
But
Right? It was also a blip for the Cardinals as well, because I don't think they're gonna be winning much more games. Right? And I still do believe they're the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming draft. But they are not making it easy on teams.
But Dak 25 for 40 to finish it off. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Again, horrible interception. First interception through. This was your point of I don't trust him, and my point of I don't know how much it was play calling, but we don't trust him there. Tony Pollard still had 122 yards, so it wasn't like he was anything shit. Really.
He was solid. That was a good number.
But then on the flip side, Arizona 17 for 21, 189 yards by Josh Dobbs. James Conner had 98 yards. Josh Dobbs on top of that had 55. Rondell Moore 54 rushing, right?
Yeah. So like, I mean, realistically, like we said, there's a blip for both sides. One for the losing side, one for the winning side, because, like, realistically, Arizona, are they gonna go anywhere?
No.
No.
I mean, unless they're relying on Houston to tank for them, and Houston did not do them a favor today.
Yeah.
Because that's another potential disappointing team in Jacksonville, which we'll probably talk 1 minute about. But yeah. Dallas. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this was their easiest part of their schedule, and if they're gonna lose games like this, then they're in trouble. Like
they are in trouble.
That means they definitely missed Trayvon Diggs that much. Good luck against the Eagles. Good luck against any other top team you guys play. Definitely the playoffs are you're gonna have a tough time. Now, knowing a team like Dallas right now, they might go out and try to whoever's a free agent. I don't know. You could maybe look into that maybe today or next Thursday, or Thursday's pod. Especially if the struggles continue, or they would go trade for a potential cornerback.
But yeah, no. Like we said, no excuse. We'll probably shut the Dallas talk there because Dallas gets enough love.
Yeah, they're
anyways.
probably gonna get talked on like ESPN all day and Fox or wherever.
But yeah, no. Congrats to Arizona. I don't know if you wanted a dub, but
and if if you were relying on Houston, well, they did not help you because CJ Stroud is right now maybe outside of Puka Nacua. Could be up there for Oroy because Bryce Young isn't doing anything really great right now, and he's injured. Anthony Richardson hasn't completed a single game yet.
He's playing good, but
he's playing good,
but he
hasn't completed a game yet. At the end of the day, CJ Stroud's doing what he's supposed to be doing. No picks.
He's accurate, bro. That's his strong suit, and he's been very accurate.
Another contention of disappointment of the week, Jacksonville, right? 37-17 is not an acceptable score. Trevor Lawrence 27 for 40, 279 yards, but your number 1 receiver only had 40 yards had 7 targets with 3 receptions. Obviously we were riding high on the Calvin Ridley train, especially, and
it has been falling off these last 2 games after defeating the Colts week 1. And
even that they almost kind of let it down. They just got lucky. We were a young team.
They just got lucky. Yeah,
and
we made mistakes.
Shane Steichen is in his bag now. But
yeah, we'll get to that later on.
We'll get to that later on.
But Jacksonville, what the hell is going on?
Right now, you got the Colts leading that division. So
that is very surprising. Very surprising.
Yeah. We'll end that talk there because there's not much to talk about. But Houston ain't helping with the tank either.
Yeah, Houston looking good, bro. They actually are, they're feisty teams. They're not going to be an easy win.
Yeah.
Right? Like the teams that you thought would be easy wins, Houston, Arizona, they're making it tough on teams. Right? A team like Jacksonville, they made it tough on. They made it tough on a team like Baltimore, week 1. Like where Lamar wasn't at his best either.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the teams that were undefeated. Did they win? Did they lose? We'll play that game right now. Let's just start off with our squad. Indianapolis, 1-1 team going up against the 2-0 Baltimore Ravens. And what a game. It was a weird game. right?
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew in, Ryan Kelly out for Wesley French. Obviously, Anthony Richardson out. Now, on the flip side, you had made the prediction that upset alert here, and I was looking at you kind of funny.
I cooked.
And you got it.
I
right?
cooked.
Like Indianapolis ended up winning this game in overtime. But the weird thing with this game was, first of all, so that makes the answer to the question of are Baltimore Ravens undefeated? No, not anymore, because that front seven,
Indy's
is
front
the
seven,
most underrated and under talked about for sure.
So far at the beginning of the
you
season.
could argue it's a top 5, top 3 even front seven with Grover Stewart, Samson, Ebukam, who's been a great signing, could be arguable.
Quiddy Pay coming into his own.
DeVaris Buckner, Dio Dangbo, you got EJ Speed.
Zaire Franklin.
This is without Shaq going off right now.
But it's Shaq's doing Shaq's thing still, right?
Yeah, but like normally when Shaq makes his name with the punch fumbles and
it's not like Shaq
interceptions. So he's not doing that right now. And this defense is that scary.
He doesn't need to. But
Exactly,
that's the scariest part.
That
is the scariest part. Yes, they have issues in the secondary. Shout out Julius Brents.
Juju.
Finally was able to play a game and made some big plays.
Got a fumble.
Yeah, forced a fumble, made some big, huge tackles, key pass deflections. But yeah, they did not make it easy on Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Especially after that first drive, we're like, we might be
in for a long
finished.
game.
Yeah. We're probably gonna get like absolutely smacked out of Baltimore. But no, we did not make it easy on him. Forced fumbles. Lamar was running for his life. The good news is
this Lamar.
He's a runner, so he could run for his life.
But that's the Indy side of things. Obviously, this doesn't mean that Gardner Minshew is going forward our starter. He had his struggles because what helped us was the defense, putting him in good situations.
We were in good field position a lot of that game.
And that, not even just that, like we were losing. Gardner Minshew got a safety. Baltimore by stepping out of bounds, and that was also on Isaiah McKenzie slightly. I don't know how he got the punt situation, but we don't need to go into full details.
But yeah,
but the reason the questionable thing here was the last minute time management, clock.
Yeah, by Baltimore, right? Because like you gave India extra timeout by returning the freaking safety kick before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah,
where you had to. It stopped at 2:01, where you had to do a play.
Yeah.
And a 2-minute warning with an Indy timeout. So basically, at 2:01, you got the ball. Indy forced a 3 and out.
Shout out to that defense.
Shout out to the defense, and they got the ball back with 1:40 left. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, with 1 timeout remaining, you got the stop, and then on top of that, Matt Gay, what a performance! I think he's the only in Colts history, for sure. But
first kicker in NFL history to have 4 50-plus yard field goals made
NFL history or Colts history?
NFL history.
I think Colts was 3.
NFL history to make 4 50-plus yards field goals in a game, and I think he went 5 for 5.
I wish he had the opportunity at the end of the game for a 60-70 yarder to beat Justin Tucker or tie Justin Tucker, whatever it was.
The longest field goal kick, but like at the end of the day, we wanted to win.
Well, yeah, because there was 1 second left on the clock. So that's
but yeah, no, and then Justin Tucker missing a game-winning field goal himself,
which he usually never does.
60-yarder. To be fair, it's a 60-yarder.
Yeah,
and weather is horrible.
But it's Justin Tucker, and we expect better from you.
Exactly. So he's missed 2 on the season now.
Yeah,
and Baltimore they made too many mistakes.
Too many injuries. Fumbles,
and then injuries
snaps.
not a big excuse either for Baltimore because Colts are missing their quarterback.
Yeah,
and their starting center.
No, but like what I'm saying is same thing with Wesley
and a running back.
Yeah, same with Wesley French. But starting, I was gonna say with the Tyler Linderbaum, the exchanges were obviously not there.
Yeah. But like, I mean, to be fair, Baltimore did have more of those injuries, like Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, Linderbaum, and Stanley.
But Kyle Hamilton, my God.
Holy hell. 3 sacks in like the first quarter. Yeah, he had himself a game. He is definitely a stud pickup from a couple years ago from the draft.
Yeah.
So that's the Baltimore one, Indy one.
Next
this one usually goes longer because Indy's our team.
Yeah. We're winning the division right now, so let's see how that.
Yeah, we're supposed to be a laughing stock.
We're not Marvin Harrison Jr. hunting now.
Yeah, we were supposed to be a laughing stock. Yeah. All right.
But moving on, next undefeated team was the Green Bay Packers. No, sorry, the New Orleans Saints are at 2-0 versus the 1-1 Green Bay Packers. And for a lot of that game, 17-0 going into the fourth quarter by the New Orleans Saints.
But the game changer was Derek Carr getting injured.
And this was my point when I said, as long as he's healthy, he'll be good enough to get you guys wins. The minute he goes down, now granted I didn't watch the ending of this game, but 18 unanswered points by Jordan Love. And he didn't really have a great game. 22 for 44.
Yeah.
259 yards, sure, but 1 TD, 1 interception. There's not like...
But he turned up when it mattered.
Yeah, so 18 unanswered and against that defense is insane. That's definitely disappointing. Dennis Allen being a defensive guy, I believe. And there's no excuse to lose that game. Especially,
yeah, that's true. You're right.
Green Bay isn't supposed to be... Green Bay is proving us wrong in terms of how they
are,
play.
but now both teams are 2-1. And Green Bay is very competitive right now, and they could definitely make a push.
Yeah. But moving on, next undefeated team was the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of undefeated teams that you didn't expect to be undefeated. But Detroit comes in and just shows why I picked them to be the division winner, essentially. With a 20-6 win, pretty dominant win over them. After Atlanta, who came back on Green Bay.
Last week
to do what Green Bay did to New Orleans. So,
shout
out Detroit for a bounce back. Had a disappointing home debut.
So in the NFC South now, Atlanta's 2-1, or Saints are 2-1, Panthers are 0-3.
And tomorrow today
we got Buccaneers who are 2-0 themselves.
Yeah.
And then Lions just showed up, bounce back week for them. Good game from them. But another 2-0 team that lost today absolutely got butt whooped. Washington Commanders.
Yeah, it came back down to earth.
Right, they're playing the Buffalo Bills.
They played the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo.
I mean, really, who were your first two games? The Broncos and the Cardinals. 2-0 wasn't unexpected. Maybe a 1-1.
I expected a 1-1 because I thought Denver's a better team.
But Buffalo definitely bounced back from week 1. Josh Allen's bounced back. I think he threw a pick, but he also threw another.
Not a good game for his standards.
What is it?
20 for 32, 218 yards.
It's fine. That's good. He had rushing touchdowns too.
Yeah, he had one with 46 yards rushing. But
so I'm just
saying he's not the classic,
it's a solid game. He doesn't need to be, right?
I'm just saying in general.
He doesn't need to be.
Because 37-3 at the end of the day. I agree with that.
He didn't need to be. So he was fine. Josh Allen's bouncing back. The Bills are bouncing back, and they're looking up right now. As long as so I think those are all the undefeated teams, right?
Yeah, but I do want to mention this one team, and we were not going to talk about it, but I'm going to only talk about it because we released a clip from the last pod about the Browns being contenders, and I guess they showed you why today.
Deshaun Watson had a good game
against a decent Titans team. Still
decent Titans team, 27-3 dominating win. Defense, like always, is legit, and is really, it just comes down to, can Deshaun Watson do Deshaun Watson things? Because Chubb is going to be a miss, that is for sure. But that doesn't matter if Deshaun Watson regains his form, I mentioned before.
Solid game, 27 for 33, 289 yards. He relived his Houston moment against Tennessee, which, in a way, Cleveland, thank you, because we're in the division lead because of you. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because, you kind of look smart right now, in a way.
I might have cooked a couple times last week with an Indy take and a Cleveland take.
Last game before we get to the fun. We have Sunday Night Football very quickly. It was a pretty boring-ish game.
I mean, Steelers, in my opinion, Steelers were the better team.
They were the better team.
And they played.
23-18 is the perfect scoreline for this game.
That's how Steelers win, bro. As long as Steelers get to 20-plus points, their defense could do the rest. And, Pickett and Matt Canada, and they were good today. You can't criticize them for what they did today.
Good fourth down call. Took the defense off guard. Or third down call at the end of the game. But I just wanted to quickly mention that.
As much as
it is Sunday Night Football, but there's not much.
As much as we shot on Matt Canada for last game, this game he did
redeemed
good.
Himself. Kenny Pickett redeemed himself. George Pickens had a good game, and then overall offense was fine. Our game of the week collectively, in a way, because you agreed with it too, was Chargers Vikings, and both teams kind of chargered it up and then Vikinged it up classically, but the Chargers ended up. This is the battle of which good team will finally get their first win. It ultimately became the Chargers. Don't understand that defense still, because Justin Herbert putting numbers 40 for 47, 405 yards.
That's nuts.
You're telling me you can't figure. You're
telling me you can't dominate?
You're telling me you're a defensive coach, Brandon Staley, and you can't do something with this? Yes, I'm not saying Justin Herbert's a perfect player, but he's been consistently dropping 300-yard bombs every time.
And Keenan Allen's been playing out of his mind.
215 yards and Mike Williams at 121 yards.
And last week,
You're
Keenan
lucky
Allen.
you didn't play Keenan Williams this week.
I played Keenan Allen last week and I got absolutely
and he did
whooped.
better.
And he did better this week. He has a passing touchdown to Mike Williams, by the way.
Oh shit! What the?
Yeah, he had a passing
49
touchdown.
yarder.
49 yarder.
Obviously, might have been yak for a lot of it. But
No, it was a legit. It was like
legit?
Herbert got a snap.
Yeah.
Threw a lateral to Evans. I mean, not Evans. Allen.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, and then Keenan Allen just threw it to Mike Williams, who was open downfield.
Yes, that was his touchdown. But no, like you're telling me a team like with Justin. I want to pull up his numbers for this year because we didn't really talk about his numbers. First game, he lost, close game, 23 for 33, 228 yards. By the way, no picks yet this year. 1 touchdown. 27 for 41, okay, questionable there. 305 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's
you should
good.
have won that game still against Tennessee.
Yeah, he should have won
and
that game.
then today, you barely won, 40 for 47, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. J.C. Jackson obviously was the biggest pickup for them. I was hyping him up this year.
I was hyping up when he got signed, yeah.
And he got healthy scratched. So I don't know how much is that Staley's system on him. Who knows? But Brandon Staley's getting fired at the end of the year. I don't care. Unless they make the Super Bowl or even the AFC Championship game, he's probably getting fired.
He has to, right? Because this team is so good on paper. Like, it's just not clicking, right? And the main reason why it's not clicking is because of Brandon Staley. We know this, right? Yeah. We saw it in the Jags playoff games last year. And we're seeing it now this year because this team should be realistically 2-1, maybe 3-0, depending on the Miami first game.
Now, to give credit, you're playing another team that's unlucky, Minnesota Vikings, 0-3 now.
Turnovers. Just simple as that. If you're turning over the ball that much, you deserve to be 0-3. You can't deserve to win games if you're turning over the ball. It's simple as that.
Yeah, so Kirk Cousins 32 for 50, 367 yards. Not a bad game.
Kirk's playing decent. Jefferson's doing his thing, but the issue is turnovers, right? There's one main issue that's plaguing this team is turnovers.
Listen, this is my take for Minnesota right now, and I know you have your soccer teammate / friend is a Minnesota Vikings fan. I don't know if you're watching this. Shout out to you if you are. If I'm them, they're 0-3, and let me just look at their schedule very quickly because this is what I'm thinking. Trade Kirk Cousins. Last year on his contract. You really want to give him another massive contract next year? And don't get me wrong. I know this is going to hurt Justin Jefferson.
Tank for Williams.
Tank for Caleb Williams or even Shadur Sanders if he does declare for the draft.
Drake May as well.
Drake May, Bo Nix, whoever. Get a young guy. Start up again. And you're good. You're going to lose him anyways. And then guess what? You draft one of these young guys. You could probably pick up a person that's, sitting at free agency or trade, whatever that's decent, right? Like, if I'm looking at Minnesota's schedule right now.
It's a tough schedule.
You got the Panthers next. Okay, that should be a win. I won't be surprised, though, if they lose that game still. You got the Chiefs. That should be a L. You got the Bears.
That should be a win.
That should be a win, but
then you got Niners and Packers.
Niners, Packers. But then you're already 0-3. So, let's just say you got 0-3.
You got 2 Packers games left, right? They are not easy. You got 2 Lions games left, right? They are not easy. You got a Chiefs, you got a Niners, and you got a Saints game, right? The way you're playing right now, it's not going to be a win.
The good news for them, they haven't played a divisional game yet.
So they have a chance still, yeah.
They still have a chance, but
if by trade deadline, if you're still not if you're 1 win at the trade deadline, yeah, you got to get rid of them.
And trade deadline's what? End of October? Beginning of November, I believe?
Yeah.
I think it's October 31st. So we should know because of Jonathan Taylor trade talks. So
yeah, that's true.
I believe it's Halloween. So, yeah, by Halloween, you would be... let me just bring it. 0-3 right now. Let's just say... Okay, I'm going to just go till Halloween. Let's just say you win Panthers. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You're 1-3. You're going to lose the Chiefs. You're 1-4. You beat the Bears. You're 2-4. You lose to the Niners. You're 2-5. You're at Green Bay.
You lose to Green Bay.
2-6. That will be the record by trade deadline.
Yeah.
After that, you got Falcons, who is quietly decent. You got the Saints, as long as Derek Carr is healthy, is going to be decent. Who knows what the Broncos will be, but as of right now, that should be a win for you. You got the Bears again. Won't be surprised if you lose that still.
But you still got 2 Lions games.
Then you got 2 Lions games for the division. Right, you got the Bengals. Let's see how they do. Raiders are no slouches. And you got Packers again. So if you're 2-4, 2-5, whatever I said at the deadline, trade them. I'm genuinely looking at Minnesota right now. Your front office, trade them.
Okay, I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you could trade. Okay, yes, you are a playoff team, expected to make playoffs, coming off a division title win. it's gonna be disappointing. Play for sure. But if you could somehow manage to trade Kirk Cousins
and get like a 4th.
If you're shitting the bed by then, trade Kirk Cousins, get some sort of draft capital. I'm pretty sure they have their own first round pick, right? And if you find a way to get like a Drake May and a Caleb Williams off the draft, Vikings fans will be happy.
Okay, I was gonna say like, let's look at the Jets schedule. I don't think they're gonna be in the playoff contention because they play the Chiefs, then they play the Broncos, then they play the Eagles, and then they play the Giants. And then listen, the Giants could beat the Jets, so even they might be struggling because even after that they got the Bills, Dolphins, Chargers. You got Cleveland, Atlanta, right? New England. So I don't know if maybe they surprise the team. Let's just say Zach Wilson or their backup get some like Mike White style wins last year. Then sure, go trade for Kirk Cousins. But teams that could potentially need it. We don't know what Joe Burrow's health is gonna be. Maybe something could happen there. For 1 year.
No.
Okay, fine.
No.
That one I'm just putting. I'm putting realistic.
That's just like unrealistic.
I'm looking at. Okay, no. Yeah, I mean, there's not many teams. Washington. Jets, I guess Washington could
Jets,
be a team.
Washington depends. I think Washington might just tank if they suck.
Yeah, they're 2-1, even though they're 2-1.
I mean, realistically, do you even have to get rid of Kirk Cousins? Like, I don't think you're gonna get.
Tampa Bay could be a team, but
I don't think you're getting much. I don't think you're getting much value, right? Off of Kirk Cousins.
I would explore. Okay, let's just say this. I would explore trading Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
To a
at
team,
the end of the day,
because we don't know what injuries happen.
They could still be this bad with Kirk Cousins.
Let's just like
they could lose. They could be a good team that loses all their one-score games that they won last year, this year, and end up drafting Drake May, or Caleb Williams or whoever.
True.
In the draft.
But no, I would explore just to get something out of it. Who knows? Injuries happen, right? We know this. So a team that is injured, like I said, like I did Joe Burrow. Yeah, it's a little far fetched, but I won't be surprised.
It's a lot of far fetched.
But I won't be surprised at the same time. Like just
it's
a 1 year rental. At that point.
Yeah, no. I don't think there's anything that's gonna happen. I think Kirk Cousins still gonna be a Viking.
But do you agree that they should explore?
Like they could definitely explore. It's not even like I don't think they even need to explore because I don't think they'll get anything in return, and they could still like the main thing is not what you get for the Kirk Cousins trade. Is the main thing is what happens in the draft.
My thing is if you trade Kirk Cousins right now,
but who's gonna want him? No one's gonna want him.
I'm just saying. My thing is like you could sit him out yourself too. So yeah, you're right. You could just
no one's gonna want him, right?
Because you could easily like if minus Kirk Cousins, I know Justin Jefferson alone could carry a win, but we see what Devontae Adams is
dealing with Vegas, right? Like
so it's
you need a quarterback, right? And at the end of the day, you're not winning a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins.
And listen, it's not Kirk Cousins' fault completely here.
It's not Kirk Cousins' fault. It's genuinely not.
But I'm talking about the future now.
But yeah, no. If you really want to take a look at the future, there are a couple good quarterbacks in this draft. And if saying somehow you are 0-3 now, right? And you somehow do end up with the number 1 overall pick, right? If you just still keep on shitting the bed week after week, Caleb Williams would want to play for you.
Yeah.
That is a good situation that Caleb Williams could play in.
Except maybe he doesn't want to go to Minnesota, but that's a different story. But in terms of the team, you're with Justin Jefferson.
But rumors are like Caleb Williams wants, if the situation is shit, Caleb Williams will go back to college.
And this applies to the Tennessee Titans in my opinion as well. But the difference is you drafted 2 young guys, so that's a different story there. But yeah, like if I'm those 2 teams, I would explore trading these 2 guys. And I know, like I agree with you, it's not gonna probably happen.
It's not. They're not getting anything.
But they're both free agents. Just even get a 7th out of this, who cares at this point? If you're actually looking to tank.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, I mean realistically, they're not gonna be number 1 overall picks. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And but like if you're in a top 10 range, maybe you could just put them in a package to move up a couple draft picks at the end of the season. But like they are not. Is it an easy fix fixing turnovers? Like it's generally like hold on to the ball better, right? It's just simply as that. And it's not like Kirk Cousins throwing picks, right? Other than the first game, he didn't really throw.
He won late crunch time today though,
but that is like you're taking a shot now at this rate, right? Like you.
Well, no, he was in the red zone.
Like he threw one.
Yeah,
he threw a pick.
We watched it. He was in the red zone. This is right before we were about to record with the guest.
Well, I didn't watch it.
No, you were with me though when we saw it. I'm like, oh look, pick. But yeah, it was in the red zone.
But yeah. But it's not all on Kirk Cousins, right?
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just looking at the overall picture now. Like, hey, last year of the year, maybe try to deal him. If not, you might have to sit him out for the rest of the year and make him be a free agent. But moving on, talking about trading quarterbacks. Last game we're gonna talk about before we go into Monday Night Football preview is the Bears and the Chiefs. Before we talk about the Chiefs, obviously the Chiefs won 41-10. And my question to you is, It's looking like Chicago's gonna get the first overall pick again, the way it's going.
Yeah.
And I think Eberflus will probably get fired at this point.
Yeah, probably might be.
But this or the OC at least. But who wants Justin Fields at this point? Because we've seen this before. Someone gave up a second-round pick for Josh Rosen. We traded for Carson Wentz, and we somehow finessed Washington for a trade for Carson Wentz.
There is still something there for Justin Fields. That's the thing, right? Justin Fields is still showing some stuff, but at the end of the day, right? Like, it is his last year if they end up in the top 5 range again.
Let's just say Arizona and Chicago are 1 and 2. Let's say Chicago is 1, Arizona is 2. If you're Arizona, do you still trade away Kyler Murray for a Drake May, Shadur Sanders, Bo Nix? Shadur Sanders had a horrible game this past weekend against Oregon.
I don't know. I don't know.
For Caleb Williams, yes, right?
Like if Kyler Murray balls out, like I don't know if they trade Kyler Murray.
We don't even know if he plays this year, but
But
if Kyler Murray balls out, like you said, if there's a second overall pick, you might as well bring in a Brock Bowers or a Marvin Harrison Jr., right, or another O lineman. If you're Chicago, I'm trading Justin Fields. If you're 1 or 2.
Oh no, if you are in the top 5,
yeah, if you're Chicago,
you're trading Justin Fields.
Sure.
Justin Fields' experiment is done, right? Year 3 is where the quarterbacks need to show something. If you're when you're a young guy.
Yeah, and then my question
Josh Allen showed stuff.
We've seen, you're right, there's potential, but we've seen this potential with...
Potential was there last year. Now it's results.
What I'm saying is when you trade away the young guy, like a Baker Mayfield, like Josh Rosen, who I still think was unfairly dealt with, but obviously didn't take his opportunity afterwards. Guys like Sam Darnold, whatever. People did trade for them. And it backfired completely, right?
Yeah,
Carolina
that's true.
knows that best.
So
if you're another team, who will realistically trade for?
Someone will be interested.
Like Atlanta, for example.
It could be, yeah, right? Because I don't think Atlanta.
Desmond Rinder's doing fine, so I don't think so.
Who knows, right? Depending on like how their season goes, but like someone could be interested. It doesn't like someone traded for Trey Lance. Dallas traded for Trey Lance,
but
right?
For backup purposes.
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
At this rate, your job's on the line. Like you gotta be a backup if you're not gonna be a starter.
I guess the difference between Trey Lance and Justin Fields is Trey Lance literally was injured.
Yeah, Trey Lance literally got hurt. But yeah, no, Justin Fields, like I said, right? You got to prove something year 3, show something to the organization that like you are capable of keeping, worth keeping. But at the same time, if you're going down the drain again like you were last year with the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, if you're number 1, number 2, yeah.
Number 3, number 4, number 5, it doesn't matter. But your experiment's over. As simple as that.
So what if they're number 6?
Still, it doesn't matter.
I guess it depends on the situation. But right now, it's looking like they're the first overall pick.
It's looking like Fields is
to the point where they should have
last year.
Maybe they were smart not to take Bryce Young because they were probably in contention for Caleb Williams anyways, and just gave Justin Fields that one opportunity. But it could also be Tua was better than this, right? Because remember the whole Deshaun Watson rumors back then, with the whole Brian Flores situation. This is like Justin Fields is performing much worse than Tua was then, right?
Tua was still fine. Yeah.
Like this is crazy.
But yeah, that's
flip side.
Bears. Chiefs are back.
They're back.
Yes, it's the Bears, but they put up a 40 bomb.
How much was it? The T Swift effect.
Travis Kelce, leading receiver.
Hey now, like how he would say it.
Hey now, but yeah, no. I think the main thing was like. He saw Taylor Swift rock Arrowhead. Now Taylor Swift got to see him rock Arrowhead.
Like how he wanted to.
And how the Chiefs did, because 41 points is a lot of points.
Yeah. I know, it's like he's obvious. Like, listen, I'm still surprised. Like, I don't usually care about power couples in any sort of fashion.
But this is a power couple.
It is. No, don't get me wrong. But it's funny to me. Because like it's one I didn't really expect, to be honest with you. But the second thing is... we didn't really talk about much, at least athlete power couples, really, like this. Like, they were to the point where ESPN and Adam Schefter's tweeting shit about it. Right? Like, in my head, I'm like, who cares? Obviously, we're regular people. It's funny to see, right? It's because, like, Pat McAfee shows talking about it. Jason Kelsey's on his podcast or on people's podcasts sharing that it's 100% true. Yeah. So it's got to the point where it's hilarious and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a hater here. But it's funny that I didn't expect it to be like this, how extreme it got. Bro, I don't care if they did.
You got one of the best weapons in the game, and one of the best singers in the world. Of course, like it's gonna be big.
Stars in general, pop stars, sellouts.
But yeah, I know.
The point where people are selling out, trying to like overprice their tickets just to go to see.
Yeah. But Just sick. It's just sick.
It's just funny to
It's
me.
just
Like,
sick,
the
right?
fact that we're talking about this more than the actual game, I guess we did.
I mean, what the hell are we going to talk about actual game, man? It's 41-3 game, right? Realistically, but yeah, Mahomes did his things. Kelsey back to Kelsey things, and
Now, to be fair, it is
now-
Chicago. Let's see what they actually do next game when it's a true test.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe it
but
was smart for her, like Travis Kelsey, to say, "Hey, just come.
Hey,
this
come to a
weekend,
Bears
look at
game,
the
right?
Bears game."
Yeah,
And
I'll
then,
do good this game.
But the fact, like, how she was going crazy and cheering, it shows that
with
there's more.
Donna Kelsey,
With Donna Kelsey,
Travis Kelsey's mom.
So
up
it
in the
shows there's
booth.
more than something like that, rather than just her sitting there and just cheering like a normal person.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
She was going nuts.
This is legit. Well done, Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well done.
The fact that they're the same age surprised me. I thought she was older, personally, but
But yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't get to see a breakup song by Taylor Swift about this. And yeah, that's all I want to say.
yeah, this is definitely the biggest athlete power couple on the top of my head. I know Tom Brady had Giselle for a little bit, but I'm just saying on the top of my head, like I'm not realistic going down power couples here.
Yeah.
Because anyways, Monday Night Football,
Yeah, quick predictions.
undefeated teams are going at it.
Buccaneers,
A
Eagles.
team you did not expect to be undefeated.
That's
I think
true.
A team that should be undefeated by the end of this week. And I'm going to rock with the Eagles.
Same, I'm rocking with the Eagles.
Now, I will keep it close because the last time I said I did say think the Viking game was close, and it was close. I'm going to still say this game's going to be close.
Yeah, it's
defensively,
similar.
Tampa Bay's still there. Philadelphia is struggling with both Gannon, who got his first win. Shout out to Coach Gannon there. And Shane Steichen, who's a baller right now.
2-1.
We got the best one for sure. Probably one of the best hires.
Yeah,
this
so far,
year.
yeah.
Missing like the play calls, right? So Todd Bowles, let's see how he lines up that defense. Obviously, but I still think Philly gets it by a touchdown at the minimum.
Yeah, it's
right?
to be a
Like,
one-score
it was
game in
within
my
a
opinion
one-score
too.
game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Vikings game where like Philly might just start blowing a lead again.
But just do enough to win.
But yeah, they'll do enough to
But
win.
will I be surprised if the Buccaneers like upset alert? I won't be surprised.
That's true.
If we
because
saw what Arizona did, any game is possible.
any game
for
is
me now.
possible because I said that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Lock.
All right. Bengals Rams.
Depends on Joe Burrow, right?
All right, with Joe Burrow, and you
With
still a compromised Joe Burrow, but with Joe Burrow.
I don't know. It's a tough one, but
This was my upset alert.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm gonna.
If it's with Joe Burrow, I would have picked the Bengals. I'll be honest with you, because I just feel like they just need some sort of game, and I feel like this could be that game.
I just wanted to double check what I did with the family pick'ems,
But
and I'm confirming it. I'm going Rams by a score.
no matter what,
No matter what, I think Joe Burrow's gonna be hobbled. He might just come out of the game. Number one, Aaron Donald might be a force on that O line because that O line still hasn't lived up to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going Rams. Maybe not a big score game.
Yeah,
Like in the teens,
might be like the
maybe,
Baltimore
20
game.
games. Yeah, like the Indy Baltimore game. I'm gonna just say like a touchdown or a field goal, one score game.
But yeah, no.
But for the Rams.
With Joe Burrow, I picked the Bengals. Without Joe Burrow, I'm obviously gonna pick the Rams.
But my question mark here.
I just feel like
I have one caveat though.
What?
Puka.
He's also injured. Yeah, he's questionable.
So if Puka's not playing but Joe Burrow is playing, okay, then I might go Bengals. But I'm gonna assume Puka's playing and more so Joe Burrow might not be playing. If they're both injured, I'm still going with the Rams. But if Puka's not playing but Joe Burrow's playing, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. But overall, I'm leaning towards the Rams.
Yeah, I
In
mean it's
general.
fair because they have.
He's literally the leading.
They
guy.
look good. Rams look good and Bengals looked ugly, right? But the thing is, I feel like the Bengals need a game where they figure it out, right? And they will have that game. I'm fully confident in that. And I feel like this could be one of those games.
All right, so
I think it's deja vu from last year for the Bengals. I just do.
yeah,
Yeah, right?
But can they do it 2 years in a row is the question, right? So
Yeah, but that's what I just said. I think they can.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a general
Yeah.
question. Like I don't know.
But
It's
I'll,
tough
I'll
to
say
do it.
this much. This year does look worse
The
than
difference.
last
The
year.
difference
This year
is
does work
Joe
less.
Burrow's healthy last
Yeah,
year.
and no, I'm just saying in general, this year looks worse than last year in general.
Okay.
And I don't know how much Joe Burrow played health wise last year. I think he might have been a little bit knocked early
Not
on.
as much as he was now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All right, because moving on, we'll talk about the rest on Thursday after these games happen. Let's just go into Quickfire quickly.
NHL preseason started.
NHL preseason has officially begun. Training camps are going on or ending. Shout out to the Canucks doing Canucks things. 10-0 loss.
10-0 loss to
Now,
the Flames.
The difference is we literally played an AHL roster for the most part, maybe except for one line, and the Flames played literally their best roster.
Yeah, I think Tanev, Anderson, Markstrom, Huberto, Kadri, all those guys played for the Flames, and they rocked us 10-0. They were the Denver Broncos of the NHL today.
Classic. Shout out Rick Talke for saying that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, 10-0 still a bad score, 100%, right? Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong.
100%.
But at the same time, as preseason for me, I don't care. I genuinely don't. Yes, it's concerning that they were not prepared if that was the case, because teammates did come early to do better than this. But like I said, there is Canucks Twitter just doing Canucks Twitter things.
I mean, realistically, if you lost this with like PD guys in the lineup, then yeah, I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Right, but there's nothing concerning me right now. Yes, 10-0 is ugly, but at the same time, the players, they're just trying to.
They're figuring out the systems.
They're figuring out shit, right?
Should make the team. And
yeah.
So far, they have mentioned Hirose,
Hirose,
Höglander, and Ratu had decent games. So they're fighting for their spots. I don't care. It's preseason. If the Canucks had won 10-0, they would be winning the Stanley Cup. I'm kidding.
No, we don't care.
We don't care. It matters when the regular season starts. If this was Game 1 Edmonton, sure, big deal. If this was like 4-0, whatever the case may be. At that point, we would have Demko in net. We would have better defensively. I am concerned with the Susi reports from Harmon Dale from The Athletic and Thomas Drance, I believe. They put an article out who they're worried about. Podkolzin's on that list as well, which is kind of sucks for us. But yeah, I don't care. And this goes for any not judging on anything, right?
I'm not judging anything on preseason. The only thing I judge is like if your actual players are playing and you're still struggling, then that's where I'm like, okay,
now,
that's where I'm concerned.
The one where I'm like, okay, you know what, this might be legit. Dallas beat Arizona 7-0, so maybe that one.
Maybe that one
could be true.
But yeah, no, preseason again at the beginning.
Like when what world is San Jose beating Washington with Vegas 5-2? Any given night, shit could happen. But I'm just saying in general, right? So,
but yeah, so that's NHL preseason. Well, obviously
we're gonna definitely. I think it's in less than 2 weeks.
In a week or so, we'll probably pump out the NHL content a little bit.
Yeah, our predictions, similar to how we did the NFL award predictions, Stanley Cup, blah, blah, blah. Tier list, like always, will be out. We'll try not to make it 50 minutes long, but
yeah.
Even if we do, we appreciate the support of watching it. So the next week or so, NHL heavy content, NBA heavy content. Training camp starts soon. And MLB playoffs, which we're all getting
playoffs,
into.
That's going to be a main topic we're going to talk about.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
We're getting into
sports because the fight game's big too.
Yeah, we're getting into that season for sure. But other quick fire topic.
Best season though.
Yeah, that's true. Other quick
sports fan.
As a sports fan, but not for my school.
Yeah.
But other
soccer. Let's just get into it. Not much to talk about. Our daily 3 to 5 minute Man United talk. We won a game.
All right, that's it. Just simple as that.
Yeah, like I don't want to get into the same rant. Let's see if this continues. Easy schedule coming up. The game we do want to talk about is this is going to tie into Man United, but in a different way. South London derby.
Yeah, Arsenal, Tottenham, 2-2.
And Tottenham look good.
Tottenham is Ange ball is real. It is genuinely real. And he's looking good. Son's back to form.
North London derby, sorry, not South London.
No, Son's back to form, which is key after Kane departure. And
here's my thing. If that Saka penalty shot PK if that was a PK, I still stand by my Man United pointing against Tottenham.
Yeah, the Man United against Tottenham. We got robbed of a PK there, and if it got given for Arsenal, it should have been given for Man United, right? As simple as that. So yeah, Arsenal is real, and yeah.
Next game, 8 goals on Sheffield United by Newcastle.
I mean,
listen, scoring 3 even against a team like that is tough.
Like I said,
8 at the end of the day, it's the day of like big scores.
They're on their Denver Broncos shit, right?
Yeah, Canucks shit from preseason.
Yeah, so Sheffield definitely got absolutely embarrassed, but at the same time, right? Like we expected a Newcastle win in dominating fashion, but this dominating fashion over
maybe a 2-0
over a professional team. Like I said, like 70 points, 10 goals, 8 goals in a soccer game, right? It's over a professional team, and it's difficult to do, and it's an embarrassment to the sport.
Here's the thing. When are Luton Town and Sheffield playing? Because they're both 0-1 and 4, 0-1 and 5. And maybe they could go 0-2 and 4 and 0-2 and 5 at the end of the day. Like, it just feels like these two teams maybe should have not been promoted at this point.
Bro, like they're probably looking for a ticket back to the championship.
Yeah. But one thing will always stay the same. You spend $1 billion, you make sales, but Chelsea will still find a way to lose. And that's what they did. 1-0 to Aston Villa. But
Aston Villa's a good team. We'll give them that.
Not surprised, but I'm just
But at the same time, right, like, do better. As simple as that.
Carabao Cup starts this week. We're not going to really talk much about it, but let's see if Man
Defending
United
champions.
Defending champions. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, let's move on. As I mentioned, NBA season's about to start. We're getting some news heated up in the trade market, mainly the Damian Lillard trade. And yes, everybody's assuming it's Miami. There's a lot of reports saying that it should be Miami done soon, but then you hear Woj, who I trust the most, and Shams.
Of course, yeah, Woj and Shams.
Nothing's close yet, right? And I'm going to just pull up some stuff. The biggest thing is like that team that is being mentioned a lot. One of them is the Chicago Bulls. But another team that's being added a lot, it's not because they want to be part of a third team package to get Tyler Hero or flip even Tyler Hero and make it a 4-team package or someone else, is your squad.
The Raptors, yeah.
Who are trying to get Dame. And there's a post on NBA Central, because you know the Giannis talks, and you know how Giannis has some links with Masai Ujiri, not fully, but some there. That the master plan might be team those two up.
Lillard and Giannis.
And Giannis. But here's the thing.
It's very difficult.
The Dame trade is stalling because Portland apparently doesn't want to deal with Miami, which is kind of stupid on my end still.
How does that make sense?
They're just saying that's the random reports I'm saying. I don't know how legit
that makes sense. How the hell are you gonna trade them then?
Yeah. And I think one of the more realistic things there is there's gonna be like a 3-4 team package, including a James Harden. I think that's what ultimately might end up even happening. That's a bold prediction, but it may not be as bold as people might think.
That is massive if that happens. But at the end of the day, right, like it's probably gonna be a 3-team deal. Someone offloading Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry type of thing.
Utah Jazz are reportedly interested in Tyler Hero and are opening to offering a player and a pick in exchange for him. Ethan J. Skolnick.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's a good player, right? And it makes sense.
But how shocked are you the Raptors are involved in this?
I'm very shocked. I'm very surprised.
Let's just say you get him and you don't get Giannis. Okay? So let's say the trade is built around OG, Gary Trent Jr. going back. They don't want to give up Scotty, so I don't know how legit it's going to be. Let's just say you do finesse and keep Scotty. You give up 3-4 first, let's just say. So your team is, let's just say on the top of my head, Dame Lillard, Grady Dick, Scotty, Pascal, and Jakob Poeltl. Is that enough for you to be in championship contender?
No.
Is it enough to be a playoff team?
Championship contender, playoff team, yes, 100%.
So like, are you the new Cleveland Cavaliers? Let's just say
we'll be like
like the
Cavs, like the Cavs and the Knicks of this year. That's what will happen.
All right. So now let's just say, would you give up Scotty in this trade, not knowing about Giannis' situation? This is a lot of hypothetical.
It is very tough. I can't give up Scotty because he is genuinely our only piece.
Okay.
He is genuinely our only piece.
What if you're not saying guaranteed Giannis, but there's just a 50-50 chance you're getting Giannis? Do you take that risk?
No, like he's our only piece. He's the only guy.
So you want to be for sure known that we're getting Giannis, whether it be free agency or a trade.
Yeah, that's true. But like, because we can't trade our only piece. Scotty's our only guy, that young guy that could be potential superstar player.
You know,
right? Grady Dick doesn't have that projection. Siakam's old and might get traded himself,
or might leave in free agency.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to get traded. That's the problem.
And then Scotty's the only guy we have.
The reason why
that's capable of this.
The reason why Pascal doesn't want to get traded is because he's eligible for a supermax, so he has to be, I think, all NBA again, which is not impossible for him to get.
Yeah.
But are you still in the same boat that like just rebuild, try to get rid of Pascal? You have Jakob Poeltl for now, so are you still on that boat, or are you exploring? Do you want Dame Lillard on the option, on the trade? I mean, you don't know how disgruntled is going to be. I think
realistically,
I think that first of all, those reports are bullshit.
Yeah.
That him saying that he's gonna do some bullshit.
Make a diss track on the Raptors or something for trading for him. But realistically, if you have an opportunity to train for Damian Lillard, you just take it, right? At this case, barring obviously a Scotty Barnes in the move.
So he's untouchable no matter what, unless Giannis is involved somehow.
Yeah, basically.
Or any other top player.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like if you have an opportunity to trade for a top player in the league, you do it. As simple as that.
But I guess the argument is he's no Kawhi Leonard when Kawhi Leonard came.
That is true.
Like you need to pair him up with someone, and I don't think pairing him with Pascal is still a championship.
Enough. A championship.
Are they a team that can make
conference
noise?
Finals? Yes.
But that's the ceiling.
But that might be the ceiling, yeah.
So, ultimately, let's just say you have an option of trade for Dame or no trade. What are you? Are you still saying just rebuild? And build around Scotty, OG, and all them?
Yeah, I think I'm on the rebuild mode right now.
Okay, so you're still sticking by that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Damian Lillard, like hopefully it happens soon. Training camps are about to start. They're saying it could be soon, but Brian DeWayhorst. By the way, check out his our boy Alex Adams.
Yeah,
podcast
check
with
out
Brian
that.
DeWayhorst. Very, very well done. So
Behind the play.
behind the play and on the Raptors Republic
Yeah.
YouTube channels.
Behind the play with Alex Adams. Beyond Brian Winters talking about his journey.
Talks about the Raptors.
And talks about NBA stuff because he's an NBA guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, his journey is incredible, right? Like with Cleveland with LeBron. So I did not know about that. And so yeah, for just the whole story, please check out that pod and shout out to Alex as well.
Yeah. Moving on here, let's see if the Dame trade does come to fruition. There's another decent piece in the market, and now as a Laker fan, it's kind of weird because we don't really need him. If we can get him some way somehow that fits under the cap, I would still love to get him. But Buddy Hield, is Indiana's exploring to trade for him, and obviously elite shooter, not much defense there. So, but shooting wise has been like in the top 3-5 shooting 3-point percentage, sharpshooter,
yeah. That's how you describe his game.
So, what teams do you think should be looking for to get him on the top of your head? I'm gonna just pull up the teams as well because I think I have a couple in my head. Honestly, every team in the playoffs should try to get.
I mean, realistically, like if you have a 3-point guy, right, you could never have enough of that stuff. At the end of the day, right?
But any team that stands out for you.
Stands out? Anything on the top of my head?
Number one for me is Miami.
Miami.
Especially if they could finesse a Dame trade and do that.
Miami. I think in Milwaukee.
They don't have the cap, so what?
That's the only issue, right? They don't have the cap for it.
Who could they get rid of? That's kind of enticing. Now it could be just a salary dump.
But like, I think I don't know if people might call me stupid for this, but I think Milwaukee works fit wise, right? Because I don't think they have enough perimeter shooting, especially with Giannis. Drew Holiday's not that consistent himself.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez is, I think, their best 3-point shooter.
Another team is Dallas.
Dallas makes sense too, yeah.
Now, granted, the defense is not going to be there, but you give spacing to Luka. You even have Kyrie on the floor with them. You pick your poison with Luka and Kyrie.
But yeah,
then you're leaving a 3-point shooter open.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good fit. But at the end of the day, I think Dallas's main focus is defense.
Yeah.
Before adding 3-point scoring.
I won't be surprised though if that trade because that was the highest name I've seen. Was
yeah,
Dallas.
It makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
And if Phoenix somehow could finesse their way, Phoenix.
Yeah, with the cap stuff. But yeah, no, I'm just barring cap, I thought Milwaukee was a good fit for me.
Yeah, I think for me it's more Miami just because they might lose pieces and Dame and they already lost Vincent Strus and whoever else they did lose.
Yeah, that's true. But Vincent Strus are big losses for them.
Yeah. All right, that's the NBA talk. Once again, we're gonna be pumping out the NBA content
Yeah,
shortly,
in about like a couple weeks when it's close to season starting.
which is literally like in a week or two after.
It's like
the
2
NHL.
weeks, basically. Yeah.
All right, last thing, as always, we're doing our weekly MLB playoffs because at this time next Sunday
we have 2 series left.
Yeah, so at this time next Sunday we will be knowing our playoff teams, and literally a couple of days after that, the playoffs will begin. So off the bat, let's just talk about our Jays, get it over with. And
they turned around.
For sure.
They definitely turned around. And, like we said, MLB is one of those sports where, like, if you heat up at the right time, which is right before the playoffs, you are in a very good position.
It's like Chris Bassett said that, yes, Texas series might have felt like rock bottom, but it was, for him, he said it was like a wake-up call, and they woke up.
They woke up, yeah. Vladdy woke up.
George Springer's
waking up.
Defensively.
And Bassett himself, right? Like, the recipe to winning a World Series is pitching and defending first.
Which they're a lead in.
Which they already a lead in. And then hitting is, you just gotta hit at the same time, right, to score runs. But at the end of the day, it ultimately comes down to bullpen, pitching, and defending. As much as you could hold out the other team, make your hitting as easy as possible, because they haven't been good hitting wise this season. And if they could do that, really, just master that throughout this last 2 series and clinching a playoff spot and hopefully make a World Series run, they are destined to do that, right? And at the end of the day, right, these guys are a few batters, like 4 or 5 batters going off at the same time, emphasis on same time, away from
Listen,
really dominating this playoff run.
We should, as you mentioned before, if the batting clicks, especially in the playoffs, we should be the team coming out of the AL.
That's true.
There's no
100%.
reason about that.
100%.
Because the teams remaining right now are Toronto that have not clinched.
Yeah.
Or Toronto and the 3 teams in the AL West: the Astros, Mariners, and the Rangers. Yankees, haha. All those fans talking shit about the Jays in the early part that you did all these trades just to be here. The fact that we had a bad year and we're still gonna make the playoffs is insane.
Yeah,
Whereas
right?
your dumbasses barely did shit.
Like,
and you did shit.
Carlos
and you guys couldn't do
Rodon
anything.
and everything.
The Red Sox,
Shout out to Garrett Cole, though. I'll
give
give
him
him
that. Might be Cy Young, hopefully not.
Yeah.
But what's his name? The Red Sox have been eliminated, and Cleveland Guardians have officially been eliminated.
Yeah, so the teams in the playoffs right now are Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right? And realistically, Baltimore is inexperienced in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That is true. Tampa Bay, they're still good. Like,
They're my favorites to come out right now out of the AL.
Yeah.
Overall.
That makes sense. Baltimore can still figure it out, like, overall.
I just think the inexperience of the young, that's why.
But if that's not a factor, they are the best team.
Yeah.
That is for sure. And Minnesota, good luck. Just good luck next year.
Obviously, Texas is back in the division lead.
Yeah.
They're still my
swept
favorites.
They swept the Jays. They swept the Mariners. And
so they're beating teams that they should beat, but we're losing teams that they should have beaten to keep themselves.
Yeah,
there.
so they're winning the big series, right,
Yeah.
against the Jays and Mariners, but they're getting swept by like Guardians and all these guys as well.
And the Houston Astros has decided to follow the Texas Rangers playbook of losing games to meaningless teams
like Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, so right now it's Toronto at the second wildcard spot, Texas in division lead for the AL West. Houston is the third wildcard spot. Toronto is now 2 games clear of Seattle, who are half a game behind Houston. I don't know who has tiebreaker there, so we'll find that out because there's no 163rd game anymore. It's based on tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So, remaining series right now, Texas has Angels. They could easily
sweep
that. Now, knowing their history, probably
not
2 for 3 or 1 for 3.
But there's the Mariners as well.
And then they close out the 4 with the Mariners.
4. So they have them and the Mariners have 7 games remaining, whereas the Jays have 6.
Yeah. Astros at the Mariners, and then at Arizona to close it out. So Astros
have a tough series.
Got swept at home, by the way.
They have a tough series.
So their last 6 games, they're all at home. They've only won 1, and you would think it was against Kansas City. No, they barely beat the Orioles in that game.
Yeah.
2-1.
But yeah, Astros are facing 2 teams that are
battling
for playoff spots.
And then Seattle is Astros and then Texas. So they have the toughest out of all of them.
Yeah.
But again, if they somehow sweep the Astros, I don't think the Astros could come back from this.
That's
now,
be tough.
Toronto, you'll hold your own destiny. New York, obviously, is still going to play spoiler. But you literally need to win, for sure, 4 more games. But it could be less depending on the other results.
Depending on how many games Mariners... depending on the Rangers-Mariners series, if Mariners could, get some wins to make it like a 5-2 record against the Rangers in these their last 7 games, then Jays have... so basically, the more games the Rangers and Mariners split in their series, Jays have to win lesser games.
Yeah, so they're 2 games clear of Houston, 2.5, maybe 3 games. So maybe 2 or 3 games on Seattle. So Jays, you can't choke this.
Yeah,
after that sweep, you handled... You should have won. Well, you could have probably swept. Okay, maybe not. Garrett Cole shut them out, but you could have easily swept the Rangers or Rays, right?
That is true. And you had a lead in all 3 games.
Yeah.
And
last thing about the AL, because by the time next week we're gonna know who we're probably playing. So I want to get the speculation out of the way right now. Do you want to play the Rays in the first round?
I don't want to, but at the same time, I'm like...
We proved that we could handle them.
We could handle them.
But again...
You need to lock up a playoff spot for it first, right? Yeah, seeding doesn't matter.
I don't care about the seeding, but if I had the choice, yes, I'd rather finish 3rd.
Yeah, you'd rather play the Twins first. But, yeah, I mean, at the same time, right, like, you've been struggling a lot of this season, and then these races have been really tight, so you just got to figure out a way to get in.
Yeah, no, like we mentioned, like, just get your spot, because clearly you could handle the Rays. Like, you beaten them. You lost 1 series early in the year. You beat them. We were the first team to beat them.
The record's, like, I think, like, 5-5 against them or something like that.
Yeah, so at the same time, like, I'm not scared of the Rays. Like I said, if the Blue Jays are playing like this come playoff time against any team, I think they should be coming out of the AL. Yes, Baltimore has had their number this last 2 years, not even just this year. That could be a tough series, but who knows what Baltimore could be doing beforehand, right? Yeah, but like you said, I agree, get a playoff spot locked up. But if I had my choice, it's gonna be Minnesota. But don't tank like how people do in the NBA to play a matchup and then you end up getting base-steed and losing to them.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, that's the AL.
NL.
NL, as always, nuts. It is nuts.
So first of all, Pittsburgh kept their season alive by making a
they're eliminated now.
No, I know. I said they kept their season alive with an 8-0 comeback on the Cincinnati Reds, who needed the win, won 9-8, only just to get eliminated after, because I think one of the other teams won.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So right now you got the locks are all the division winners, the Braves, Dodgers.
Do you see what I'm seeing here?
And Milwaukee Brewers.
Do you see what I'm seeing?
What?
Under no playoffs, San Diego are officially ahead of San Fran.
Oh wow, yeah.
So,
so San Fran's
all this time
off.
I'm like, San Diego's probably eliminated. No, so technically, even though it's probably next to impossible,
not happening.
It's not happening. Technically, San Diego's a better chance than San Francisco. When San Francisco was there all year long.
Yeah, San Francisco fallen off these last couple of weeks, but at the same time, right now, realistically, you got 2 playoff spots. Because I think Philly should lock it up, right? One more win.
So, who hasn't clinched? Philly, Arizona, Chicago.
But Philly with one more win is clinching.
Yeah, Miami, Cincinnati, San Diego, San Francisco. You said it. Philly should clinch, and San Diego and San Francisco should be out.
They should be out. But yeah, so there's 2 playoff spots on the line for Diamondbacks. Cubs are holding it right now.
Yes.
And with 4 teams fighting for it.
That Pittsburgh loss kills Cincinnati right now because they would have been 1.5 back otherwise.
That is true. But yeah, so right now, 2nd wildcard spot, Arizona. 3rd wildcard spot, Cubs, with Arizona being half game ahead.
Yeah.
1 game behind is Miami, who's outside looking in, and 2.5 outside looking in is the Cincinnati Reds.
Arizona has the easy schedule right now with the White Sox, but then they close out hard against the Astros. Chicago has Atlanta, who don't give a shit, and the Brewers, who probably also don't give a shit
either, right?
Right, because the Brewers locked up the division.
They're locked up 3rd. They're locked third seed.
Yeah. Okay.
And Marlins have Mets and Pirates.
That should be
all away games.
Could be 6-0 still.
All away games as well.
And Cincinnati who still has a chance, has St. Louis and Cleveland, who both teams don't give a shit either.
Yeah.
So, honestly, this one, Arizona has it tough in a way because Houston is literally fighting right now.
But if they could figure out, like, if they could sweep the White Sox, I think they should be fine. Like, they might even get away with a 0-3 against the Astros. They might even clinch it before the Astros, depending on how other results go. But Arizona, does have a tough one for sure.
So ultimately, let's just end it off on this note. Who's making the playoffs in the AL and then who's making it in the NL?
Yeah, but quickly, I just want to check Philly's schedule just because see who they have, right? Just in case. Pirates and Mets, they 1 or 2 wins, they're good.
Yeah.
And Philly should be locked 4 seed, aka number 1 wildcard spot, and then I think the Braves have it locked number 1 seed. They're 4 games ahead of the Dodgers. So once they figure out like 1 or 2 wins, they should be good. But yeah, should we start with AL or NL?
Let's go AL.
AL, it's a 4-team.
Who's fighting? Who's gonna be? Just predict the division winner for the West, and then predict number 2 seed and number 3 seed. So then we'll find out who's obviously missing out.
So Astros have who again? Mariners and Diamondbacks. Okay, I think Texas wins the division. And then I'm gonna go with the Jays making it
second
wildcard spot.
I agree.
I think like you have to be a massive choke to ruin this position that you're in right now. You're 2 games ahead of the Astros, who hold the 3rd one, and 2.5 ahead of the Mariners, who are outside looking in. And I think Mariners make it. I think Astros falls out.
Okay, so I'm the opposite. I think the Astros will make it
over the Mariners.
Yeah, because I feel like Astros might come back to earth in this Seattle series and maybe take 2 out of 3. And I think they'll go 2 out of 3 against Arizona. And I think Seattle might choke against Texas.
Right? Yeah, they already have been.
And then the Jays, I agree, they should be second. They handle that spot.
Like, I mean,
it's on the Jays. Like, they're
playing Yankees next, right?
Yeah.
They're playing Yankees on Tuesday.
At home, and the Jays are playing at home for the rest. Now, that being said, they choked at home a little bit early in the year, but The Jays realistically need to win like 3 games, in my opinion. Like for sure 4 to lock up a spot.
Yeah, but 3 for sure. Yeah, that is true.
So and they have tiebreaker on Houston. So technically there's 3 clear.
So basically, to round out my AL, you got the 1 seed Orioles, 2 seed Texas, 3 seed Minnesota, 4 seed Tampa Bay, 5th seed Jays, 6th seed Astros.
Now
Mariners for me. Yours is Astros.
Yeah, the scary part is the Rays are still 2 games back of Baltimore, and Baltimore has the Red Sox and the Nationals. So I think realistically they should lock up number 1. I agree with you. So which means the Rays might not have nothing to play for against the Blue Jays. I think they're last up, right? So yeah, I agree with your top 3, 4, 5. So my flip is Houston
over Seattle. Yeah. NL Braves number 1, Dodgers number 2, Milwaukee number 3. I think those are locks, especially after.
I think those are already locks in a way.
No, Braves have I think need to win 1 more to make it a lock.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying pretty much.
But yeah, Philly is a lock at 4 seed for me.
Yes.
The number 1 wild card. I don't know. I think Reds are out. In my opinion, I think Reds are done. So between Marlins, Cubs, and Diamondbacks, I think it stays as is.
You think so? If I predict Houston winning 2 out of 3 on Arizona, so that means Arizona has to sweep White Sox to get 4 wins. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So if they get 4 wins, the question is, can the
Miami
Marlins sweep their way? And I won't be surprised if they get 5 wins.
Mets and Pirates, right?
I won't be surprised if they get 5 wins. So, and then Chicago also has an easy. Atlanta will still be tough at the end of the day because Atlanta's trying to win for sure to clinch the
1 seed. Yeah,
1 seed. By the way, who's higher right now? Is it Baltimore? Or, no, it's Atlanta. I just saw the 100. That's why.
Yeah.
I might say Arizona falls out.
You say Arizona falling out?
And then Cubs move up 1 and Miami move up 1. Because I'm basing mine based on... Because you clearly picking Arizona because you think they'll probably get the better of Houston, right? I'm assuming that's why you picked the Mariners?
I think a sweep against White Sox.
Yeah. And take 2 out of 3 against Houston?
I think they could be fine with 1. Because I just feel like Miami chokes against Mets. And if the Mets have Kodai Senga pitching, I think that's an L for Miami.
Yeah, you're right. Because who knows what the Pirates might do.
Yeah, right? Like at the same time, these teams that have nothing to play for are dangerous.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because they're like, let's just play ball for fun. Let's see what happens, type of thing.
You know what? I'll go Chicago 2nd, Arizona 3rd. I think Miami will choke. I'll agree.
You think so? Yeah, I think it stays as is.
Because I'm predicting Arizona to win 1, but I'm predicting them to sweep. Chicago.
Yeah,
but I won't be surprised. Like I said,
it's tight. It's very tight, right?
So ultimately, I have Phillies wildcard 1. Chicago wildcard 2, and Arizona will finish wildcard 3.
Yeah, my prediction stays as is with Diamondbacks 2, Cubs 3.
Now, if you're Milwaukee, who would you want to play? Arizona, Chicago, or Miami?
I don't know. I think they're all gonna be tough outs.
Because Phillies locked up at the 1 side. And if you're the Phillies, who would you want? Arizona, Chicago, or Miami?
I mean, realistically, I think they shouldn't care because
obviously.
No, because I think they're genuinely just better than all 3 teams.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think it matters.
But there's like a team that scares you always somehow.
Yeah, I don't know who the Phillies kryptonite is between those 3, but because we don't watch Phillies as well, right?
Yeah. Tight playoffs. By next Sunday, we should be talking playoff baseball predictions.
We should be predicting series. Yeah.
Hopefully, we could find a guest for baseball.
For sure, yeah.
Because we need to get our knowledge up on this for sure.
Other than Jays.
Literally, our next month or so pods might be 2 hours long.
Each and every time, yeah.
Each, because like everything needs to be talked about. NFL and MLB for sure.
Yeah.
NHL, NBA, and soccer might not be as high.
As much. Like,
but
we'll just talk
there's
about
stories. There's always storylines.
A couple big stories.
At least
here
the
and
next month or so, it might be 2 hours long just because preview episodes are going to be coming.
That is true.
We might split it up.
We might need to break it up a little bit more.
You guys might get a 3rd podcast episode. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
For you to find out by hitting the subscribe button.
Yeah, please hit the subscribe button. I hate the number 173 because we've been stuck on it for
and when we do get
a week and a half now.
And I think we got a new subscriber. Shout out to him or her. But I think we lost one in the process.
In the process, we're still 173.
But no, banger episode. Talked about everything once again. Next week we might be. I think Canelo's fighting next week.
Yeah.
So we might be previewing that a little bit. Or this coming weekend. Sorry. But that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Follow everything, rate, review, audio platforms. Check out the podcast tomorrow, or episode tomorrow. It will be a banger with our guest. We cover Canada soccer. We cover the European predictions, and we'll definitely look to have this guy on continuously on the podcast, and not be a one-time thing. Maybe once a month, once every other month, or whenever a big story comes out. Shout out to the Canadian women. We forgot to mention that under soccer. They're up 2-0. Big bounce back from the World
Against
Cup.
Jamaica.
Changed things up.
Olympic qualifier.
Yeah. Up 2-0, coming back home to Toronto, and see if you guys could close it out. And by next pod, we'll be talking them being defending champions, defending the Olympic gold.
Yeah.
Which I still disagree with. That if you're the defending champions in the World Cup, whatever competition you're in, you should be automatically birthed in.
Yeah.
As well. I don't care. But
there's a case for that. Yeah,
there's a case for that. But yeah, no. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.